Doctor Who Time Flight. This is the final episode of Peter Davison's first season as the fifth Doctor. You know, I liked this episode. I was watching some other thoughts on it, including the cast and crew, and I watched some of the making of. I got the Blu-ray set, and they were kind of down on this one, but I thought it was pretty damn solid. There's a lot of cool stuff in this. So let's start off with the story. The story, I'm giving it a 1.5 for the story. It does start to lose itself a little bit, like what exactly is happening. But basically, the Master, who is masquerading as this alien entity called Khalid, he's got these other aliens, Zarafin, and they have been like, he's compressed them and he's like literally feeding off this other like race of being or whatever. And some of them are kind of on his side and some of them are against his side. So he's able to control these energies and whatnot. And the basic premise is that there's a Concorde flight and it goes through some sort of time displacement thing. And then it ends up 140 million years in the past or whatever. So they're stuck there. Now, I know that there's issues where how would they land the plane in this rocky terrain? Like, was there runways? No, there wasn't runways, right? So there's weird things like that, which sure, I can ding it a little bit and it starts to get a little bit wonky as to what exactly is going on. But I really got into this one. I thought it was super cool. Just figuring out what's going on, the surprise of the Master. I did not recognize Anthony Ainley in the Khalid outfit. So I didn't know it was the Master until he started melting. I was like, oh, it's the Master guaranteed, right? And his TARDIS is there and they're kind of going in and out of his. So when the second Concorde comes to look for the first one, the Doctor and companions get stuck there and they've got to figure it out. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I'm going to give the pacing a 1.5 only because it's a 4-parter. It probably could have been a 3-parter. But I wasn't bored, so I'm not going to give it a low score because I wasn't bored through any of the episodes. I thought the first episode was really neat, like them actually at the airport. Finally, Heathrow. Tegan's finally there. And I love the airport stuff. And they're like, what the hell? Why is this box here? Well, talk to the Brigadier. He knows everything. And they're like, okay. And I love when the Doctor takes control of everything. And then those pilots like all just kind of trust him. That was really cool. I thought it would moved at a pretty good pace. Like, yeah, it could have been a shorter, sometimes they stretch these a little bit, but I don't think it was like a horrendous stretch. It was maybe it could have been 3 episodes, right? If you tightened it up a little bit and gave more information quicker, especially the middle 2 ones could have merged into 1 episode versus the last 2, which were pretty cool. Okay, artistry. I'll give it a 1.5. And that seems high for this one, considering that there's a lot of, some rubbish, there's like those monsters, it's like these mist monsters are just blobs. But I'm kind of judging not so much, I am judging on sort of how they got the effect, but I'm judging on the creativity of doing the stuff. So there's a lot of cool things. There's the interior of like the Master's TARDIS. There's also like at one point his TARDIS becomes like the jet and then is over top of the actual jet. That's neat. There's like hallucinations. There's like mist creatures that turn into those blobs or whatever. The Khalid guy looks pretty neat. He'd make a really cool little action figure. They attempted a lot of things. The set looks pretty it doesn't necessarily, I'm not grading it how well it succeeded on these things. They said in the making of that the budget was wearing very thin at this point, but I think they did a pretty damn good job. Like, guys, I mean, like, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I think this first season of Peter Davison might be the best first season of any Doctor. And if you go through my playlist of the Doctor Who playlist, I have done Tom Baker's first run, and clearly Tom Baker is amazing, but the stories here have been really cool. I've really liked them. So it hasn't been getting perfect scores. Now it's time for a perfect score of the characters, which I'm giving a 2 out of 2 because I loved the characters. Firstly, everybody's on fire in this one. Now that Adric is gone, they do deal with Adric in the very beginning, and they sort of say, well, it's sad, but we have to move on. Doctor Who is about the next adventure. Same as the Doctor. The Doctor dies, and they move on usually very quickly. Maybe there's one episode where the Doctor is being weird or not functioning properly, and then it gets right onto it. And that's a Doctor leaving. Never mind just the companion. I did like Adric, and I thought it was sad that he died. They could have done something else. But Tegan is great here. She's like, why don't we go back and change him? And the doctor's like, no, you can't change the history, and you can't change his history. So that's one of the rules of Doctor Who. But yeah, like she was good. Nissa had more to do as well. So now you only have the two companions. But with that, they got rid of Adric, but they added all these other guys. They added these three pilots, and then they added this professor, and they're all good. Like, dude, the side characters here were so awesome. The main captain guy was wicked. He's like, all right, doctor, let's go. And he's like freaking getting shit done and getting in on it. Like, he was great. They got this professor guy who's like, well, I don't know about this, and questioning everything. And any one of those guys could have been an awesome companion going forward. That's some of the cool things about the Peter Davison this first season, where like a lot of the side characters were awesome. And you're almost like, man, I wish that side character would just stay on. Like, they're pretty interesting. So they brought in a lot of cool characters. I'm going to give the enjoyment factor a 2. I liked this one a lot. I thought it was really damn cool. I can see, the scrutiny. Oh, well, this wasn't that as good. Okay, fine. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. That might be really high for this one. People might be like, wow, that was kind of high. But really, they tried a lot of ideas, and it was kind of neat. Like, if you look at this comparatively, like, again, Doctor Who's my favorite show. So I'm looking at Doctor Who. I'm not looking at Doctor Who versus other shows. I'm looking at it within itself. So you got to look at what idea they try to come up with, what kind of neat creature effects or digital or optical effects or whatever they try to do. And you got to look at kind of like what the characters are doing. And yes, they can't get the effects right every time, but they can definitely get the characters right. And they definitely did in this one. They're really neat. So for me, it's more of a character episode where the doctor and everybody was really good at figuring stuff out. And the master's awesome, man. Anthony Haley is just great. He's a great master. I love that they have to make this deal at the end. I'll give you some parts, and you give me some parts, and you kind of outsmart some. That's fun. Yeah, I thought this was damn good. So Peter Davison, first season complete. They're all awesome. So I don't even know which. I think Visitation might be my favorite out of the ones that we've done. But I think I gave that a 10. There's a couple. I think there's couple other 10s. So actually, pretty damn good start. I've already got season 2's first episode in the queue. I already reviewed that before, but that was before I knew I was going to do them all. So that'll be in the queue, and I'm just doing the Blu-rays for now. So I'll have season 2, and then after that, I might have to take a break because I don't have the Peter Davison season 2, and I don't want to, or season 3, and I don't want to start getting into Colin Baker just yet. So we're going to do these somewhat in kind of an order. I know Tom Baker, I did season 1, then I skipped it. But then again, the Blu-rays, I'm waiting for all the Blu-rays to come out. I have everything on DVD, but I want to watch them in their best version possible. So that's what I'm waiting for. Anyways, man, this has been great. This first season's been awesome. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Please make sure you check out the playlist for Doctor Who, and become a channel member if you want to as well. We only have one tier, Super Friends tier, and there's a lot of great stuff for that, so you can check out the trailer for that. So thanks, guys. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.